Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you, and welcome to the OpenEdX conference, this virtual event 2021. I'm very proud to have been invited to this talk about the importance of collaborative learning. So it should be an inspirational talk about how to build effective courses with OpenEdX. But before we go deeper with my colleague Ilaria as well, you can see in my background there is a huge picture. Is one of the most intricate and complex, but in my opinion, exciting paintings in historical art. Is the Garden of Earthly Delights from Hieronymus Bosch. And this remember me to the OpenEdX conference in Madrid in 2017, where during the conference I went to El Prado and stay hours in front of these incredible pictures. And the association that I have in this talk about collaboration is that the educational field is something very exciting and complex, as this image made by Bosch. And the complexity to do this can be managed using and combining different method like design, creativity, collaboration, and communication. So those are the essential skills for modern course management. So this talk should be an inspiration for all course designers. We intend to increase the collaboration on an OpenEdX platform and keep users inside and not outside the focus of the attention. So I'm Stefania Trabucchi. I'm co-founder of Abstract Technology. And Abstract Technology is a software agency and a listed service provider of OpenEdX based in Germany. And before we start, please, I give the words to my colleague, Ilaria Botti. Please go ahead. Welcome.
Thank you, Stefania. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. Thank you for this invitation. I'm very proud to be here. And as Stefania says, our main focus today is on collaborative learning because we believe that nowadays collaboration is a central skill in a learning environment, not only for students, but also for teachers. And how we will show you in an effective course on OpenEdX platform. This is our main point, and the table of content you can see on the next page. And now we can start. Do you remember Confucius? Do you remember what did he say? He said, give a man a fish and you will feed him for a day. Teach him to fish and you will feed him for life. It's a way of life, and he thought about the importance of training someone to learn. So the question now for us is, what are the needs and values of people who want to learn? This is our question. We have transformed the Confucius statement, and we can say, give users a learning tool and they will be full for a day. We can start from our practical experience with people who want to learn in different time and ways. So the statement is also give students and teachers a chance to learn how to use the tools to share their knowledge, and they will have fun for life. Our point is if you design a learning experience for students and teachers, but without providing collaboration and sharing tools, probably they will attend your course, but they'll try to organize themselves in other ways. So why the collaboration is so important? In my opinion, as an instructional designer, I try to give you a different perspective on the learner's needs. In this image, you can see on the left side the Maslow hierarchy of needs. He designed in 1954, and this hierarchy applied to the e-learning environments, unfortunately, lacks of considering the learner's expectation in terms of values. In fact, on the right side, you can see these values. They are the content quality, the importance of sharing, and skill learned. In particular, for example, in upskilling or reskilling. In a collaborative learning environment, the point is that we can link the learner's needs to their values. Collaboration is the key to design an effective course, and there are also three layers of interaction between individuals and organization. We consider the form of knowledge, the organizational context and structure, and the role of technology involved in the educational process. So we talk about infrastructure, that is the strong element of the organization, and also of infrastructure that results in a specific code used by the actors to understand, exchange, and give sense to a common language. And finally, infoculture, that refers to the culturally based code that organizations have developed to fit their specific social and cultural environment. In any educational system, we know that informative guidance and preliminary orientation are also the first step to introduce students in the educational process. We make sure that participants to e-learning process understand what the educational process requires, which tools are used, and to be informed of any kind of information about the organization, the educative model, and so on. Taking into account what we need, this is a real example on OpenEdX platform of an effective informative guidance and preliminary orientation. You can see here. In order to develop an effective course and to integrate it in the knowledge system, instructional designer can follow also three progressive steps, we know: orienting, preparing, and supporting. But we can also show you now the user experience journey of participants in a collaborative learning environment. In this case, it's useful to consider the variables of performance success. We note that they are knowledge, skills, and a good environment, and the motivation to learn. Missing just one of these variables can have an impact on engagement. Now we know, in fact, that engagement and the three phases, orienting, preparing, and supporting are very important. And Stefania will show you what are the forms of interaction in distance education. So Stefania, I give you the word, and please describe our collaboration path.
Thank you, Ilaria. Yes, it's very exciting, and let's try this. So to say, it's a little bit at experiment also from our side, because so the digital education defines different methods of interaction. So we know there is the student, the student content, the content, and so on. Based on this well-defined and knows interaction, we can use. We will show some example because the time is reduced. What you can very adapt to your course planning. So We select some of them, which is in this case is a student-student interaction, where the implication in terms of how to involve the student himself in the collaboration is, in this example, using a web-based real-time editor, which also have a chat and where the student can interact in real time writing text and developing a document. The next one is an example of a dedicated discussion forum. So as example, we use a bookshelf. So you have a bookshelf with a long list and a wiki page, for example, where every students can add items. But meanwhile, a dedicated discussion forum also with the notification, the power of notification, where students can be elevated to a leader in organizing the feedback about, for example, books they have to read. This can engage back to the supporting the method Ilaria mentioned before, engaging the student to participate on the issues. Another example of how to involve is quite well known these pieces, but is a very powerful open edX features is to use peer-to-peer assessment. In this case, a student peer-to-peer. So students together reflect on some papers and write and give feedback. So to give feedback is also have also a big impact in the collaboration of doing and learning stuff. Then as a next this is an example of student content interaction. So the student content interaction using something in real time. This example use Mentimeter. Mentimeter is a real-time polling. So the teachers can ask questions, and in the real time, each student present at that time can put the feedback and have, in this case, a word cloud as a result. So this commitment is a part of also engagement feature that you can use. The next example is to combine activities, because combining activities using, for example, in this case, questions, a topic, a discussion, and in the meanwhile to provide, so to reflect, again, to reflect and upload the results together to the others, and then read about the assignments makes a lot of engagement again to the students. The next example is more, it looks easy, but our idea is always to select using different content types, and let's discuss the students to find let's discuss them and also find a support from other students. The topic is how to write a Europass curriculum, and this can be very, very tricky. And if the students together can help with example, discuss and help each other, this could be very, very effective in our opinion. So another good example is about gaming. Gaming is also very social for young people. So combine a game to a tool like Discord, where they can discuss and see scores and have a big community. So in this case, in an example, to play together and build a community inside of this gaming stuff. So another example is now content interaction. Content interaction is quite new as interaction. We want to show in this example how adaptive collaboration can work in terms of add data in this case in integrated iframe with the Excel file, and adding, so if each students add data, this data can be, with a tool called Tableau, can be then visualized in terms of as much data you have, as much better will be your visualization of your data, of course. So, and measure it. And so to say, at the end of this very, very short walkthrough about the main idea we have, is to use also the synchronous communication way. Synchronous communication way is a webinar tool, a conferencing tool, a space where you can have discussion panel in real time, live streaming, speed dating, video lectures. So there is a different topic you can set always when you organize this kind of webinar. But again, the important part is that everything is inside your course management, so that all the students know that the big moment of collaboration will happen there. So the last example we want to show is also in real time, a real time collaboration tool, which is Miro, well known as a workshop tools. This can be easily also implemented in your course management and planned, and support in real time what you are planning in the topic of this workshop, for example. I think that this is really a very quick but a good walkthrough about what collaboration means for us. And to recap once again everything, our message is that you need to design your courses. As a course designer or as instructional designer, you know how to write your storyboard, you know how to use the importance of the different element and method. So you have this structure still well prepared. But with these pieces, second pieces, and is more the message of today, of creativity. Be creative when you have to create collaboration, and guide this kind of collaboration with your students. You will see there's all these new learning materials that, in addition to the traditional one that we didn't show in this talk, and with the good control, of course, of the user need, because if they're young, they have maybe different need on the social integration with Twitter or with Discord than another target group. So the creativity is quite important in this process, but it's not only the pieces you can use, because the power of Open edX is the power to having a lot of features on board, or feature that you can easily integrate, or feature that you can easily combine. And this is a open-minded information that we want to share. So combine all these components together to have very, very big results. Never forget to add the feedback, so collect the feedback. And finally, with some extension, like the adaptive example, like a lot of iframe that we use, and external tool, use the data, measure the success of your courses. So collaborative learning is an educational approach to to teaching and learning that involve groups and learners working together to solve a problem, to complete a task, or create a product. And the benefit, in our opinions, goes from develops oral communication skills to practice modeling work related roles, for example, and also create a community environment within a course, within a classroom. Thank you very much for your audience.
Thank you.